when you get to the level of what you're seeing, where you're actually challenging how things are grouping, challenge the way things could or could be, organized differently, which changes those things in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
part
profound.
whole, I think you're right. First of all, I think part whole is the one that people are more familiar with than anything else. And as a result of that familiarity, they're not as blown away. They're not as happy, mind-blown emoji as they probably should be.
Yes.
Right? And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So systems people and systems thinkers are notorious for saying the following phrase. Systems thinking is holistic. It's about the whole, not the parts. It's about seeing the forest rather than the trees. It's about being holistic, not reductionistic.
Right.
Right? That is, you can Google it, you can read, everywhere you go, you will run into those kinds of statements, those exact statements, and many, many statements like them, and many assumptions that come out of those statements about the fundamental way that systems thinking is.
Right.
And it's all completely wrong. Systems thinking is, it's a huge problem, right? Systems thinking is not holistic, not reductionistic thinking. It's not synthesis, not analytics. It's not whole, not part. It's not forest. It's not an either or thing, because in order to understand the system, you have to understand it as a whole.
Yes.
And you have to understand it as parts.
Yes.
You have to understand the parts that make up the whole, including the relationships, which are parts. That's another place where they go wrong.
We'll do that later.
We'll do that one later. But you have to understand the forest and the trees.
Right.
You have to understand the analysis and the synthesis, right? You have to understand both. It's not an either or thing.
Yeah.
You have to be a reductionist and a holist.
Right. And one of the things that we've said over the years, and that there's two types of people. There's people who split stuff up, people who lump stuff back together.
Splitters and lumpers.
Right. And what we've been saying, and you've coined the now famous phrase, splumpers, right?
Yeah.
You want people who can do both, which is what we're talking about. Go up a level, down a level, up a level, down a level, a scale.
We need splumpers.
People who can do both.
You need to be a splumper.
The bigger context, the smaller, big picture, little picture, all of that.
Yeah, we need these kind of amphibious people that can do both. That can go down to the tactical level at the 1,000 feet and then go up to the strategic level, through the operational level at 30,000 feet and all the way to the strategic level at 100,000 feet, and go right back down to the 1,000-foot tactical level to the parts.
Yes.
That's what makes somebody really an expert in any world or any field, is that they can traverse that 100,000 foot down to sea level in that fast. And they just have no problem going through the strategic, operational, or tactical level, or the 100,000 foot level to the parts.
Yep.
They have no problem. They understand the ecological aspects and dynamics of the forest, but they also understand the tree and you know what they understand? They understand that the tree is a part of the forest, but it's also a whole.
That has parts.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And that's really important, because when we talk about the systems pattern of DSRP, the S in DSRP, we're talking about the interplay between part and whole.
Yes.
Which has a relationship. Parts are part of the whole contains the parts. But also, every whole is a part of some larger whole.
Yeah.
And every part is a whole with lesser parts.
Yes.
And those dynamics are really, really important to not only to natural systems, but to the way that the human mind works.